Good afternoon. I'm calling this video when it feels like it's getting worse. Last time I said, once identity is corrected, reflection reorganizes. Not because you force it, but because it has to. That's law. Now I want to talk about something that doesn't get said enough. What about when it feels like it's getting worse? You've decided, you understand awareness, you're not arguing with 3D, and suddenly it feels like life hits the brakes hard. Things pile up, everything feels like it's going wrong at once. The mind says, this isn't working, you're behind, what are you going to do now? In those moments, I still know I am awareness. But sometimes, for me too, that knowing doesn't feel like enough. Here's what I've found in my experience so far. Sometimes the body goes into overload, and when that happens, pushing harder is the worst move. Think about your car. You can pray, you can visualize, you can declare you are awareness. But if the car has no gas, it stops. Now, can miraculous things happen? Absolutely. But when they don't, you don't scream at the car. You don't shame it for not moving. You get help. You put gas in it. You stop. You handle what must be handled. And then you move again. When the nervous system feels unsafe, overwhelmed, overloaded, in my experience, that's a break. Not failure, a break. So what do? I stop, I calm the body, I narrow the field. I tell myself, I am already at my destination. There is nothing else to do right now. Not to convince myself or override reality, but I do it to remove urgency, because urgency is what spirals. And when the mind throws thoughts like that, this isn't working, you're never going to get this, what now? I respond, no comment, not now. Just like you would at work if everything was blowing up and people were firing questions at you. You'd simply say, not now. Meaning, I am not entering additional input while the system is stabilizing. This isn't denial. It's actually leadership. Now let's reinforce something we've already talked about. Decision. If your eyes are green, do you run to the mirror every time someone asks you your eye color? No. You decided what color your eyes are a long time ago. Even something like eye color, which seems objective, gets interpreted. Some people call the same eyes green. Some would say, no, they're hazel. Some would say they're brown with green. And once you decided, you don't recheck constantly. You don't verify. You don't panic if someone questions you. Your eyes are the color you say they are. They just are. Now you can apply the same with weight. If you decide what you weigh, you don't need to check the scale every hour. You don't need to check if your clothes feel different every day. Decision removes the compulsion to check. You've told appearances to move because you are not budging. But here's the nuance. Just because something is decided in awareness doesn't mean the body integrates instantly. In my experience, sometimes it feels like digestion, assimilation, absorption. I used to think everything should flip immediately. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, forcing it creates resistance. So, what helps in stuck moments? Let's make this practical. Reduce input. Stop researching, stop analyzing, stop trying to solve your entire life in one afternoon. Breathe. Find one thing that is okay right now, even if it's just oxygen. Handle only what must be handled. Put gas in the car. That's it, not the entire future. Regulate physically. 3 slow breaths, shoulders down, eyes soften, nothing mystical, just regulation. Restate identity once. Be knowingly aware. Feel the presence of awareness. You might say, I am the presence of awareness. I am totally open without resistance to this moment. When you stop pushing, the moment stops pushing back. Remember, what you resist persists. Then say, I am awareness. I am already at my destination, meaning I am here. I am not aiming for something else. Then stop repeating it, because repetition after stabilization becomes force. This isn't about pushing. It's about not deepening the spiral. When you spiral, you reinforce identification as the overwhelmed character. When you pause, you remain awareness, experiencing overload, not defined by it. And then something subtle happens. The system quiets. And when it quiets, perspective shifts. Not because you fought harder, because you stopped feeding the noise. Sometimes stuck isn't failure. In fact, I don't think it ever is. Sometimes it's just recalibration. And recalibration requires stillness, not force. Identity is law. But the nervous system has momentum, and you don't defeat momentum by yelling at it. You outlast it. And when you do, it's a whole new day. Same awareness, different experience. Because reflection reorganizes. It has to. That's law. Many of you have asked how you can support this work, and so I've added a link above called Ko-fi, spelled K-O-F-I. I'm still offering one-on-one support in paid sessions. I so appreciate you, your love, and support. Be well. See you soon.